Hey everybody, welcome. I am Ashlee Escobar, the owner of Angelic Love and Light, and we are here on the Wake Up channel, our YouTube channel. We also have a podcast, and we're here for an energy update. I'm going to get talking because I have a lot to cover. So first of all, like as a holistic healer, that umbrella is so much. And part of it, a microscopic piece of it, is that I'm an astrologer. I'm in like astrology and energy guru. And I just love it. Here's why, because a lot of people don't understand it. Some people choose not to believe in it. There's not really anything to believe. It happens regardless if you believe it or not. It impacts you whether you realize it or not. So I love getting to explain all of it, and we're going to go kind of deep and kind of start at the superficial level, go deeper, and then I'm going to mention just some of the deeper things, because that's why I love astrology so much. I'm a very deep person, and it has so many layers to it beyond how it can help you. So if you're asking what's my intention of this video, there are multiple happenings all at the same time. There's always planets moving, shifting in different signs, but these planets rule certain houses of your life, houses of your life. And it impacts everybody very differently, but some common characteristics. And this is based off your natal chart. And why it's so important is that it can actually help you to self-identify. It can actually make you understand your emotional body and what's surfacing to your subconscious mind, and certain shadow work that you have to do that you're not aware of. And it's guiding you in which directions to help that path flow and keep flowing into your beautiful journey that we call life. So everybody's like tweaking. It's like funny because I always say I'm so opposite of the world, like literally born upside down, never flipped upside right, and like complete opposite of the energies. When everybody's high vibing, I could be low vibing, and when everybody is low vibing, I'm high vibing. It is what it is. I'm going to take it like this is a good opportunity because I get to explain to you what's going on in the atmosphere. And I always tell my members of my membership program that as of like June 21st, when we hit summer solstice, it is a continuous like fireworks of energy and transits happening, and everybody's like reaching out to me like, what is going on? Oh my God, I don't even need anyone to reach out to me. I just feel other people's energy. I can be on social media. I have a 20-minute time block, and these days I am about at a 5-minute time block for social media, because I am seeing and feeling so much, and I'm like, holy crap, the people need an energy update. So I was like, this is not a written one. I need to speak it. You need to see me, and I need to be able to move my hands and talk freely. So sit tight, hang on for the ride. It's a little complex, but you'll be able to follow me with what I say. You're not going to know how it hits you specifically unless you're aware of your natal chart. For those of you who've had your natal chart service done with me, you'll be able to refer to your natal chart and see how this kind of applies to you, looking at what houses and what signs you're balancing. So there's always duality here on Earth, and that's the interesting part. So since solstice, we also had a shift of element season. So we're currently in Cancer season. And I want to describe to you what that overall means and what that is supposed to be like. And a lot of people can't handle this Cancer season. Don't blame it on the Cancers. Don't blame it on the Cancers. You're going to see the actual transits causing the storm. It just happens to be during a very flowing and sensitive season where everybody's a little bit more on edge and heightened and kind of like rushing. Balance is needed now more than ever, and that's what we do at Angelic Love and Light. We focus on balance. We help you to create more balance in your body, mind, and spirit, because That busy life is no joke. You got to jump off that hamster wheel. You'll miss life. It will pass you right by if you don't create your own balance. So, Cancer season. First of all, when we have our sun in a sign, the sun represents our ego. So your sun sign is representative of your own ego. What does the ego consist of? Areas that we need to grow from. It represents our wounds, our traumas. We all have them. I don't want to hear, one time somebody told me I have no wounds and no traumas at all. And I was like, okay, she thinks like big complex traumas. And I had to giggle inside a little bit, but some people lack the awareness to really realize that they do have traumas of all sorts, small and big. There's no life that's perfect. There's no parent that's perfect. You have some shape, way, or form of trauma in your life. It could be something as just so simple as parents provided a roof over your head. They seemed like they loved everybody, but you weren't seen or heard enough. That's a trauma, okay? So your sun, your ego represents all those areas of your shadow work, or AKA personal development. I am kind of focusing on language because as more people are awakening and wanting to dive into their spiritual awakenings, which requires shadow work, I think a lot of people are turned off from it because there's such a language used sometimes that people don't understand what these words are. So I've really focused on the last year and a half translating or coming up with my own language to help people understand better. So what is shadow work? That shadow represents that ego. I'm okay with saying shadow work, tomato, tomato. So shadow work, personal development. Some people want to call it personal development. They're like worried about what the world's going to think of them if they say shadow work. Like, it's the same thing, people. And who fucking cares what they think? So if you're doing it, you're making the right choice for you. So that sun sign is representative right now of Cancer. And Cancer, every zodiac sign has, I don't like saying positive or negative, and I really don't like saying good or bad, but there's just characteristics that are higher frequency and lower frequency. And then there's that balance right in the middle. And so Cancers are actually the mother of the zodiac. This is usually a time where a lot of mother wound, mother shadow work could be done. The inner mother in you could be heightened. We're not here to mother anybody, guys. We're not here to nurture anybody or save anybody. That's not anybody's job. That's your trauma responses. So the mother of the zodiac is this loving, unconditional love. But we're a water element. I say we're because that is my sun sign and my moon sign. And so Cancers are the mother of the zodiac. We are the water element. What does water do? It flows. But if you don't have balance, that water can be a fucking tsunami. Sometimes you need the storm. There's beautiful things that come from storms, like rainbows. Yeah, rainbows. So, but we don't want that, right? We want to try to, within everything we know about the energy and creating our balance and regulating our emotional bodies and rewiring our mindset, we want to create that balance so we don't have a storm. Or even if the world's in a storm, we're kind of in the eye of the storm where it's the calmest, like looking out like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? And that's how I feel right before my birthday. I'm like, I am going in my Cancer shell. Nothing is ruining this damn birthday. I'm in the eye of the storm looking out like, because I want to share this story with you. And I share this story a lot and I will never stop sharing it. The zodiac sign animal symbol is a crab. And I want you guys to think of a hermit crab right now, okay? And a hermit crab, always before my birthday, anybody's birthday actually, but any Cancer's birthday, we are in extra molting season. So you get kind of challenged, but hermit crabs, why you get challenged and the molting relates to this, is that a crab literally molts, sheds throughout the year, okay? And during pivotal times of the year. This is one of them, baby. We're in Cancer crab season. You are shedding. You are molting, okay? You are more vulnerable, you are more exposed, you are more irritated, you are more crabby. The crab literally takes himself apart and kind of like rebuilds and gets rid of that excess, what's no longer fucking good for us. And this is so symbolic of shadow work and lunar cycles that I fucking love it. It's like my passion is talking at me. So right now it's not about trying to be like all clicky and groups and talking to lots of people, tons of friends. This is not time for that. What does a crab do? Do you see a crab with multiple crabs under his shell? A crab goes to the bottom of the ocean, comes up to the surface, chills on the beach, walks sideways to always be prepared for A through Z, will maybe be around crabs, but goes into the crab shell. Okay, so you need to go into your own shell, and you're going to hear why and know why and want to actually do it by the end of this call. If you're dealing with children, you're going to understand them more, and you're going to understand that you're going to have more gentle compassion, gentle parenting at this time, and teaching them that our emotions are okay. It's funny too, because my daughter also is at like an all-time high right now. But you know, they say your mental body produces your children's like personality or their exterior. So I'm good, she's good, and she's like, even she's gonna kill me, she's like on her womanly cycle right now, and she is like pleasantly like not crabby. So I'm like, I love this season from my daughter and I. So now moving on. We're in Cancer season, okay? The Cancer sun. We have a lot of Cancer energy happening. So Cancers people think it's sensitive as in, now this depends on how the Cancer energy impacts you. Whether you're a Cancer or not, somewhere in your natal chart, Cancer resides in your natal chart. So Cancers are not all sensitive. That sensitive means we are deep feelers. We freaking know way too much that we shouldn't, like even when we don't want to. Very intuitive. It's why we need all the balance we can get and create all the balance we can do, because we feel so much. And as a water element, we can sometimes chameleon into the energy that's around us. So we're very protective. Why do you think we have a shell on us? Because we're very protective of our energy. We don't want to be exposed to many other people's energy, as we shouldn't, because I could literally take a phone call with somebody, get off the call and feel like complete shit, and like not feel and know that it's not my baseline energy, and have to pivot and like go like transmute all that energy. So I'm very selective. You need to be very selective at this time. I feel like everybody needs to take care, and Cancer season represents this, taking care of self. What does the mother not do usually? The old school moms don't take care of themselves. They put everyone before them. We're in 2023 where mamas are taking care of us because we want to model to our babies what is appropriate. And we can't do that by modeling fakeness to them. We got to model to them that we have feelings, we have emotions when we're bothered, but we're not taking it out on the world. We aren't, that's not an excuse of feelings and emotions to be projecting it onto people or not regulating yourself. Because if I got to control and manage my emotional body and mental body, everybody else should too. So then I want to move beyond the sun sign, because we're just touching on it so much. Then we've got transits that happen. All the planets, so the sun and the moon are not considered planets, but they impact us a lot. The moon represents your emotional body. Tonight and for the next few days, usually it moves every night or every few nights. Now we have a stretch of Scorpio moon energy, so the energy is even more intense in your emotional body, like a Scorpio, my fellow water sign. Scorpios are mysterious. They love to get to know themselves, but they usually do not expose their emotional body to other people. That is not a Scorpio. That is more a Cancer or a Pisces. that is not a Scorpio thing. They will not like to expose their own emotional body to other people. So right now people are really irritated because they don't want to let it out, but it's got to go somewhere, and all this energy is in, and it has to come up. It has to come out. But how it comes out and what you do with it, how you can transmute that energy is huge, guys. Then we've got planets that shift. Now we've got certain planets like Mars that rotates really fastly. That's the planet of action and movement and war and kind of like fighting energy. And then we've got planets like Saturn that take longer because they're meant to help us more. You know, Mars stands for energy and movement. Time is flying, flying, flying. So it would orbit around much faster than Pluto or Saturn, one of those planets that are on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to list what is happening the most, that's impacting us the most, and kind of break it down to you. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It is the planet of intellect and wisdom, okay? So Mercury just went into the sign of Cancer on the 26th. And so everybody's talking more Cancer-ish. Now that's a wide spectrum. You could have somebody like me who's channeled working on balancing all my Cancer energy for 24 years before the last umpteen years of my life stepping into other parts. And I'm a different type of communicator. I can communicate my feelings in a way where I'm not, it also depends on where Mercury is in your chart for you. So you see that duality, you're always bouncing off two different energies. So people can be expressing their feelings more, even if they're not doing it properly or they want to. They probably are feeling their feelings a lot more. But your intellect and your wisdom, Cancers are very, very, very intuitive. We are very telepathic. We are we're into the depths of any type of knowledge. We would want to go down the rabbit holes. We want all the layers. Think of that crab going down to the ocean, okay? And how deep that is. So Mercury just went into Cancer. So some people who you never hear express their emotions, or maybe vice versa, people are suppressing it, and that's going to lead to people exploding. And I don't promote that. I don't promote suppressing anything because that leads to illness and disease. Meanwhile, we got retrogrades going on. What is retrogrades? And we got some big retrogrades going on. And I told my members a few months back, y'all remember now, I said, this is why I prep you the way I do, because I already know what's happening in the future. So be mindful of what you do and how you choose to do it, because I already know like what's in the future. Retrograde means it's an area of life, especially if it's retrograde in your chart, that you are being asked to dive in deeper. There's more challenges there. Those are the areas that are harder to talk about. So let's talk about what retrogrades are happening and which retrogrades are about to happen. So we've had Pluto retrograde happening for a while now. Pluto is one of the slowest moving planets. It's Scorpio's ruling planet, but it's currently retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and that is not a favorable positioning, okay? Because Pluto is all about death and rebirth, and I'm not going to lie, Scorpios get real about their transformations. Either they're in complete denial and they run from it, or quit on it, or they are motivated and moving towards it and fixated on what they enjoy. What they need to realize is you need the ugly parts too, because you can't just do the enjoyable parts. Aquarius, though, wants complete freedom and doesn't want to be told what to do and thinks they know everything. So the Aquarius energy in Pluto, to have that death and transformation rebirth happening, that's kind of intense, because it's two complete opposite signs, kind of like wanting to create their own death and transformation in their own way. That's been happening. So we don't blame the planets, because ultimately the planets are just trying to help you. It's how you handle it and what you do with it and how you grow from it. But that one's really not doing anything. This one right here is impacting a lot of people. So Saturn is ruled by Capricorn. Saturn is the planet of discipline, structure. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. They are our Cancer opposite. It happens to be my rising sign. So I am very 50-50 balance, always very about balance and duality. But because your rising sign is more of your personality, your actual being, and how other people get you. So a lot of people get the vibe that I'm a Capricorn. Well, technically I am, because I'm a Capricorn rising. So Saturn is kind of doing good things. First of all, if you are a Capricorn sun, a Capricorn rising, you are being a shadow teacher right now. And it's not my favorite thing, but it's within the plan. So I embrace it. This means that the Capricorn energy in you is like the father of the zodiac. And you know, dad wants the best for his kids, but dad isn't always going to say it. Dad can say it with love, mean it with love, but it's not going to sound like a mom would say it. That's just natural, no matter how loving they are, no matter how nurturing father is. A father's job is to protect and to provide. So do you think I'm going to sit here and tell people I love what they want to hear? No, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear with love and compassion, but that triggers a lot of people. So the Saturn retrograde right now is showing people where you need more structure, where you need more discipline, or it could be doing this. It could be showing you you're really disciplined in this area. You're meant to help other people learn this because they're not. I'm going to give you an example. I got divine timing and patience down like a G, like an OG. People who are drawn to me and attracted to me, and some clients and members who work with me, universe sent them to me, one of many reasons. One being they need to learn patience. They need to learn to slow it down and not want everything instant gratification right now when they want it, no matter how excited they are. Universe sent you to me, and I'm going to teach it to you because there's no rushing me. There's no telling me what to do, when to do it, how to run my business. None of that. So Saturn can be helping you to help other people where they need more discipline. And that's how you could be being a shadow worker. Now, being that it's in Pisces, I warned my members. I told them this was the most crucial retrograde happening because Pisces does not like structure. Let's dive into that. Pisces is a fish sign, okay? A dual fish, right? Because they seem very Gemini-ish, but they're not. So think of a fish in an ocean, in an emotional body of an ocean. That fish has no boundaries. It can go wherever it wants. It's all over the place. It is like, nope. So do you think Pisces, Saturn being in Pisces is a good thing? It is not a good thing. It is extra, extra challenging, especially for Pisces signs. You guys don't like it. You have to work harder. Often I tell my Pisces signs, whether you're a Pisces sun, a Pisces rising, or a Pisces moon, I often tell you guys, put yourself in a pond, put yourself in a canal, something that is smaller so you don't have all that room. You've got to put the horse blinders on. Things feel chaotic right now. And if you don't have that, you're going to be all over the place. So that one is very challenging. I feel like it's showing me where I need to have more patience with other people. But I'm doing a lot of teaching in this area because I am a Cap rising. So the next one, and this one isn't happening until the 30th, but you always feel the energy a little bit before. Some of you may not be realizing it, but you can see there's so much energy happening that why do you think the world feels the way it does? And why you need to hop off that hamster wheel, create your own balance, start the healing work, and create the balance. You've got to create the balance and not be like typical society. The one that's about to happen is Neptune in Pisces. So now we got double Pisces retrograde going on. This is a little iffy. I love my Pisces. They're good people. They're people of service, but that's not that like leadership, like retrograde energy to be in. From an astrology point of view, it's got its pros and cons like everything else. But it's domicile. And domicile means it's in its ruling planet. So Neptune is ruled by Pisces. And now it could go two ways, like everything else with duality. But Pisces, Neptune is the very mystical planet. It's how people feel like more mystical and want to dive into like the mystical, the realms and heaven and intuition and stuff. And Neptune is a frequency that makes you feel very foggy. It's almost like you're in a haze, like you're not partaking in real life. You feel like you're in a movie of some sort and you're watching from the outside in. You're not crazy. I'm telling you, it's the fucking Pisces energy. It literally is. Mom and dad and me want to take Pisces and be like, okay, child, hold my hand and let's go. Like, that's what Pisces energy does, because they're just in their own world. You look at them and sometimes they literally look, I used to have a best friend who was a Pisces. She would look like she was in her own world. I could see her brain talking to itself. I knew she was having a full out conversation, and she would admit she was, because they're just kind of like in this la daydream world all day long, and like this fantasy world, because they're ruled by Neptune. So when it goes retrograde, you're going to notice that you're more forgetful. Words are harder to come to your mind over the simplest things. You know what you're talking about. You may experience more head pressure. All right, and then the last one that's about to go retrograde is Venus. Venus is about to go retrograde pretty soon, and Venus is in the sign of Leo, its ruling planet. Or, excuse me, that's not its ruling planet. But Venus in Leo is going to be fierce and intense, because Leos are passionate. Leos are the lion, and they're actually ruled by the sun. So Leos are very passionate about their people, places, and things, okay? Think of a mama and a lioness and a lion in the jungle over their children, over their food, over their sleep, or over their mating. It is intense. So your relationships, your love will get more intense. Or what it will do is it's going to show you some like people you really don't care for. Maybe the relationships you're going to leave. There may be increase of divorce, or people saying, I'm just not in love with you the same way anymore. I don't want to grow with you anymore. I'm ready to like close the book on this chapter. And so there's going to be some interesting energy coming up with that. Few other planets that are not major factors, but want to just mention, Mars is in Leo too right now. So Mars is one of those planets that moves really, really fast. And so action. Mars is the planet of action, war, and energy. So Leos, they move quietly. Do they make noise before they move? No, they don't. They attack silently, and then they roar. And so they know what they want. They know what they're going after. People are taking action, but you want to make sure that you're not taking action too quickly. On the other hand, you may be somebody that really hesitates with taking action. And being too impulsive scares you, or making those leaps or taking those jumps scares you. And it could feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should do this or that, like, especially during Cancer season. You could find yourself being very indecisive and not knowing, or flip-flopping back and forth. So you want to take into all these into factor, and then look in your natal chart and see where they are in your life. If you're interested in your natal chart service, check out the website on the banner and use the 10% off discount code to book your natal chart. It is an amazing service. So then what else do we have going on? Because that's not it. This is a big, huge. It's the mother. The mother can take on a lot. So why wouldn't there be a lot happening energetically and astrologically during Cancer season? It all makes sense. Do you guys see how it applies now? But it's not bad. It doesn't have to be bad, or like, oh shit. Like, You ultimately have to figure out how it impacts you, what tweaks you need to make, what you need more of, what you need less of, and what you need to do to get through it. Simple. Life is hard, but humans make it harder. And once you realize that, you can start making it simple. So we have a full moon coming up on July 3rd, the day before July 4th, my favorite holiday. It is in. So when you have a full moon, it's always in the opposite sign. So it is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. So full moon on the 3rd, and we are feeling the pre-shadow to full moon as well. Full moons represents that emotional body, everything you need to let go of. So you can get things surfacing to your subconscious mind and in dreams. Dreams are very vivid because of Neptune about to go retrograde and because of the Capricorn energy coming up in the full moon. And they often get premonition, dreamlike, whether it's in their sleep or awake. And so the full moon in Capricorn is asking you to release anything that is not helping you to get the structure, the discipline, and where you want to go. It's also asking you to release too much seriousness and all that stuff. While the same day, this is the biggest event out of all of them. We have a node shift, and the nodes, they aren't planets, but they're kind of like these astrological mathematical points that represent our true purpose within the north node. And then the south node is all our kind of like our karmic attachments of what's holding us back to get to that. And in the middle is this happy balance that we create. The nodes also, I want to say, are affiliated with the eclipses. So we just had eclipses back, I believe it was like March, April, the last of them. And they were in the sign that the nodes are in currently, which is Scorpio, Taurus. Those are the two opposites. We are about to have the nodes shift. And when the nodes shift, anytime you have a shift of not only an astrological season, but a planet shifting signs, or nodes. So we've got lots of shifting. So do you think there's purging going on? Hell yeah. Say it with me. It's how you purge and what you do with the purge. So we're about to shift into Aries, Libra nodes, okay, guys? And this is huge because those duality of energies are so similar, but so polar opposite. Aries talk about some of their strengths and qualities. It's the leadership. They're go-getters. They get things done. So we may have a lot of people being like, but you don't want to be too much, right? Because then the cons of Aries energy is there can be like, they don't want to be team players. They want to do everything independently. They don't want to work for anybody else, and they don't want to do any work with anybody else either. And they can be a little bit like angry sometimes because it is a fire sign. And so it's got to be a healthy balance. And then that Libra energy seeks balance. And that's good and all, but usually life isn't balanced. That's why you have to create it and know how to maintain it and tweak it during the different times of the year. We're currently in a water season, and we just left Gemini season, which is an air element. So people think air is the moving forward. The water is what feels like you are white river rafting, literally, and you may just tip over. So you got to calm down the pace. And what do most people do to calm energies down? Like, you got to slow it down. You got to do less to be more and achieve more. So the nodes are about to shift. Wow, we also have the Sirius portal gateway. And this is a portal, just means an opening, a beginning, okay? And so from the 21st on the solstice, like kind of leading up to July 7th, there's this energy of gateway. And it's why it's so important not to get wrapped up in the chaos of everyday life and really see what these planets are trying to teach you and help you with and what they stand for. And then peel back another layer, see where they are in your chart so that you can grow, because this is manifesting energy. This is rebirth energy. The Cyrus portal gateway happens every single year, but this year it is even more important than the past 3 years. And so happy birthday to me on 7/7 with the Cyrus portal. But that the Cyrus portal is just this. Cyrus, first of all, is a star, a second sun. Ultimately, it's our light. It represents our light within us and how we can activate that light. And that's what I'm really fucking great at doing, helping other people activate their light within all the ways that God showed me my purpose, my plan 8 years ago, and why I do my own healing work to help other people, because the shit lights me up literally. Like, this is just like the hobby part of it, and informing people and helping people with it. So this gateway energy is so huge for your mindset, because it's easy to get wrapped up in the negative or the fear-based thinking or the ego, like getting irritated and annoyed and bothered. It's like, breathe. Like, really, like, there's other things that are way worse, and you've got to actually think of those situations to reel yourself back into reality, while still allowing yourself to feel the feelings and go through the experiences, because how can you release them and let them go if you don't feel them and acknowledge them? But there's a difference whether you're taking it out on somebody you love, or taking it out on a stranger, or just simply just like making, like, just, I don't know, there's an intensity of communication and feelings all happening at the same time, and it's so beautiful, but it's so intense as well. And everybody has to work harder at themselves right now. Everybody has to work harder at grounding, at meditation. If all of the world meditated every single morning when they woke up, like Eastern culture, we wouldn't have the Western society that we do. We wouldn't. I know that for a fact. So try to spend 5 minutes a day meditating with a guided meditation. You have 5 minutes. You have how many minutes in a day? Commit to something once a week. Start somewhere and then build up, build the momentum. So then we get on this deeper level, which is the really complex level of astrology. And what I'm going to mention is that there's conjunctions, there's oppositions, and there's trines. And the past few days, we've had some trines and oppositions and conjunctions. There's a conjunction tonight. Actually, I made sure my schedule was like done at a certain time, because I'm already getting like super fatigued. And the conjunction happening tonight with Jupiter and the moon and the sun kind of has everybody like, all right, I'm done for the day, especially because the daytime energy was so much. And then the world gets quiet and like everybody shuts up. And then I feel like, okay, I can come out of my shell now because the world is quiet. But yeah, every year at this time of the year, no matter what, it's always a lot of energy. Sometimes it's not as much as this, because you don't always have the retrogrades at the same time of the year, and they're not always in the same sign. But you typically always can count on July being more energetically, more with transits and what's going to happen in your life. So what do you need to do to tweak your schedule, your personal schedule, your work schedule, your commitments? It's summertime. A lot of people want to have fun, but it's also the mid-year point where a lot of people burn out and start giving up and start lacking discipline. And it's my thriving time where I'm about to have a rebirth, and I know God is using me to help preach to you to get that motivation again in you. I've got a webinar tomorrow, Healing Yourself Whole, that I can't wait, because a lot of people are lacking that drive and motivation and just going into party mode or old habits and having no discipline. And this is not the time, people. It is the essential time energetically to be planting seeds, to be creating yourself into that authentic self that you want to be, working on your energy body so that you can raise your frequency. Energy work doesn't just happen after one Reiki session. You need session after session after session. There are no quick fixes with real things that work. But society has programmed you to think that there's all these fads and quick temporary band-aids. And let me tell you, there's not. Anything that truly works is a process. We're not sprinting. It's not even a marathon. We're walking. We're taking laps. There is no, because the one that usually sprints hard crashes first. It's opposite. Okay? And so fast, fierce, and potent energy. But find the beauty in that. Stop complaining about it. Do the light switch methods and rewire your own mindset and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a new mindset on this. And how can I get through the day a little bit easier knowing this information now? How am I going to choose to respond? How am I going to stop being so reactive to every single thing? Because during Cancer season, with all the transits that I just named, people are highly reactive. And we need a little bit less reactive and more responding, which takes you being balanced and being grounded and being in the present moment so that you can actually process, and that no, people aren't intentionally trying to piss you off, and maybe some people are, and some people aren't even aware of how they're being an asshole, and maybe they think they just like did something but didn't think it fully through, or were missing information before they did it. Like, there's so many factors. And so I want you to lastly think, we're going to have this energy. It gets dialed up in August. Like, Cancer season isn't even that bad. Leo season, now I love my Leo placements. I thank God I don't have a Leo sun. But I am a Leo Venus and a Mercury Leo. So often when I'm talking, especially if it's a passion area, there is conviction. Some people may be like, is she mad? Is she happy? Is she sad? They don't know, because you can have all of that in one when you have a Leo Mercury. And so we're going from water element to Leo season, which is next, which is a fire element. So the heat always gets hotter. There can be multiple cooks in the kitchen. Trust me. You just got to know how to cook with all of them. It's the people who don't want to be in the heat that say bye. And then things start to calm down and get a little bit less energetically intense during Earth element season. After Leo comes Virgos, the Earth element that is more grounded, super organized, kind of like perfectionist, OCD style, if not for themselves, other people. But then that's that time of the year where it's like, okay, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon of getting reorganized or back to school mode. Like, no, you need to keep that energy now, and you'll be fine by August, September. If you wait until August, September, you're going to be behind and you won't feel caught up until Capricorn season in December. I'm just saying. That's the energy report. I did all of them in one. I do have separate videos for a lot of transits coming up, so I can talk about the individual transits in a lot more depth. But I wanted to get this information out because it is crucial, guys. It is crucial. We're seeing it. We're feeling it. Look on your timeline. You may need to spend less time on social media. You may need to clean up your feed. At times like this, I'm like, this is beautiful. People show me like what I'm not aligned with, what doesn't stand for my values. Like, we're going to remove stuff right now. People are expressing themselves, but remember, have compassion. Also, if you're somebody who is like, wasn't seen, wasn't heard, really looking for connection, you may feel lonely during Cancer season. It is typical. Now listen, because of that theme of only a true Cancer doesn't feel alone. You can feel lonely temporarily once in a while, but then you wake up and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm not lonely. I'm used to this. I'm used to being independent and on my own. We're never alone, truly. First of all, we're with self. We come in and out of this world alone. With silence, the soul expands. So with self, the soul expands. Cancer season is meant to help you grow in a whole different way and make you your best self. Each season has its benefits. Each season has some challenges. How are you going to get through the rest of Cancer season? Because it's a beautiful season. It's a beautiful season. So keep all that in mind. I hope you learned something new. Like I said, if you're interested in your natal chart, and I will be having some exciting news. I'm just waiting. I'm not going to do it during this season because most people won't be able to commit. But in the calmer months coming up in the future, we're going to be having a class for everybody who's done their natal charts with me, specifically using my software and the report, so that you can then start learning your natal chart at a deeper level, even than we did on our 3 sessions together, and what that looks like. So if you are interested in your natal chart, you do need your time of birth and where you were born. It's essential. I have done somebody's and tested it. My mother's a twin. She's off by 3 or 4 minutes. There's major differences in her and her twin's natal chart. So that's really cool. Also, natal charts can be done for your parents, your children, your loved ones. You can compare them. There's so many opportunities with natal charts, and that's why I love it. So more to come. Stay tuned for the next episode. But for now, get grounded and feel your emotions. Think about what you need to do to help release the suppressing of your emotions and how to transmute them. Emotions are energy and movement. Lots of love and light.